Please call the roll.
Trustee Brady?
Here.
Trustee Brennan?
Yeah, here.
Trustee Mahoney?
Present.
Trustee Mueller?
Here.
Trustee Shaw?
Present.
Trustee Sullivan? Here. President Glatz?
Present. Item 3, consider approval of the minutes of the Committee of the Whole meeting held on March 18th, 2025.
So moved. Second.
Thank you. Item 4, discuss fiscal year 2026 pay.
Roll call for item three.
Sorry.
It's okay. Roll
call
call
the roll,
for
three.
item 3. Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
Next is item 4, discuss fiscal year 2026 pay scale ordinance. Is any questions from the board for item number 4? Is there a motion for item 4?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Thank you. Call the roll.
Roll call for item 4. Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you. Item 5, discuss fiscal year 2026 fire pay scales ordinance. Are there any questions from the board? Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
Thank you. Call the roll.
Roll call for item 5. Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you. Item 6, discuss amending Chapter 30 of the Title 3 of the Village Code related to standing committees. Are there any questions for item 6? Is there a motion for item 6?
So moved. Second.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Roll call for item 6. Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
The motion carries. Thank you, everyone. Next, we have item number 7, discuss a liquor license request from the station, 6657 South Street. Hannah, I think you wanted to discuss this item?
Yes, please, thank you, Mayor. We just wanted some input from the board. You all have the memo and backup in your packet. The petitioner is here, I believe, is it Danny Zante? Just wanted to give you all an opportunity to review. It's really just a standard liquor license. It's for the station in downtown Tinley. So good to have interest and not have that vacancy in the downtown. Danny and his team do have extensive experience. I know as part of this initiative, they do want to eventually and hopefully turn it into a white sheep establishment, if I'm not mistaken, and expand on some catering as well. So I know that there has been some discussion. There's been some communication back and forth with community development just on potential building improvements. And since there was some discussion about potential grant funds or coming to us for some of those funds, we just wanted to make sure that the village had a chance, or that the board had a chance to kind of vet this and just give us some direction first.
Hello, everyone. Just for correction, my name is Danny Pappas. Zanta is just the email.
Got it, sorry about that.
So, questions?
Did you want to make any comments before we discuss it or no?
It's been ongoing. It is what we're trying to do. We love to be part of the downtown Tinley community with the goal of putting a white sheep there in the very near future.
And so, kind of to piggyback off of that, like the discussions we've had, we'd love to have a white sheep. The issues I have to share with the board, which I think everyone received the memo, correct?
Yes.
Is when originally applied, it was to basically make it like a catering kitchen, wipe out the banquet hall, make it storage and catering for other locations, not for the Tinley Park location, correct?
One of the scenarios, yes.
And then it was, I think, was it denied because of zoning, Dan, or no?
Yes, correct.
So it was denied because it didn't meet the zoning code. And then the application switched to a revised description that is approved from zoning, where you still are not gonna utilize the whole space, correct? And then saying, well, if we approve this, give a liquor license in 6 months, you would consider a white sheep. Is that correct?
So it has to do more of our personal ongoing business of why there's a time delay. As far as business expansion goes, there's a lot on our plate right now. And I don't want to overpromise, and that's why we kind of came up with that 2-year mark in the proposed letter. At the end of the day, we want nothing more than a white sheep at the location. Because we don't have that ability right now to do it immediately. We were looking for options to manage expenses of purchasing the building, because we are purchasing the building, in the process of purchasing the building. There was a lot of scenarios out there. I think catering was the most viable option to manage expenses of managing the building, supporting the existing business, and when the time comes, an investment will be made for it to be converted into white sheep. That being said, I know there's a lot of ongoing issues with the building that, in coordination with Dan too, we plan on addressing those right when we take ownership of the building. So there's parking lot issues. We plan on repaving it, not resealing it, repaving it immediately. There's garbage disposal issues. We'll take care of that. The AC units of the building are all trash, for lack of better words. We're going to take care of that. The building itself is in need of a major tuck pointing. It's a big ticket. If left the way it is, it's probably going to collapse on its own weight. And the beautification of the exterior of the property as a whole. Those items will be taken care of immediately after we take purchase of the business. As far as the business plan for inside the business is where we're requesting a little time to finish up some other projects that we have and move forward with the white sheep concept.
And again, the issues I'm struggling with is, like we received a letter on April 15th where it says, in addition to the restaurant, within the initial 6 months, the petitioner attends to launching a dedicated white sheep catering line to support its sister locations. If the original plan was, all you want to do is catering and have it just storage. And the struggle I have with supporting that is, with all that work that's being done in that downtown area, I think we would be selling ourselves short to take that building and just let it be, you know, a place to just do catering out of that's not even servicing Tinley. I think that building could have huge potential, but to just make it a catering with, because there's no promise or guarantee that it would be a white sheep. And like you've said, you know,
If
that's
there
the goal.
is a way to formulate a promise, I'm all for it.
And again, that's, I'll leave that up to staff and the attorneys, but there's just, by switching it from the one that got denied to agreeing to this, I think we're, I think we'd be selling ourselves short, like I said, and there's no guarantee that any of that will go forward. You know, so unless there was something more concrete that, this is the time frame. So it's like, if it's 6 months, then why not just do it now? How is 6 months gonna make that much of a difference, that you'll do it in 6 months?
I believe the 6-month timeline was for the catering option and not the white sheep business plan option. The catering option is utilizing existing equipment and not a massive overhead to get operations going. To convert the location in white sheep, it would be upwards of $1 million of an investment. So that's where we want to be a little more careful, a little more strategic, and buy some time for the time being.
But if you get to the point where you feel, we shouldn't open a white sheep, then what?
I don't think we would, paying closer attention to what's going on with Harmony Square. At minimum, we can bring our coffee roasting operations and open a cafe and bakery, because we do house an in-house bakery at White Sheep. We do roast our own coffees, and we just expanded in coffee roasting. And a small operation, considerably small, would be a cafe, like a higher-end cafe, lounge area. But again, that's a scenario that I don't like, so to speak. I would rather open a White Sheep. That's what we do, that's what we make money on, that's what we know what to do, and that's what we're known for.
And it obviously works.
Yes, sir.
So last comment, but I'll open it up to the board. Unless we had something in writing between the attorneys and you guys that this is a deadline, if not, X happens, I wouldn't be supportive of it. The only reason I say that, it's nothing against you, like I told you before, we love White Sheep. The problem is, there's no guarantee that you're gonna open it, you're not committing to it now. We're gonna take the whole banquet room and just make it storage and just make it a prep kitchen. Basically is all it's gonna be, we're gonna turn it into a prep kitchen. So unless there was some way that you could commit, and so there was some type of, tied to the zoning where we could put it in writing, that it had to convert by X, and if it doesn't, then, you know, Y happens.
If the village
So-
attorney would like to draft something, and I can take it to my attorneys, I mean,
And so I don't know if you wanna comment on that, or,
Think about it.
it's above my pay grade.
Well, real quick question. We did something similar with Pete's there, you know, tied to the distribution center. So,
look how that's been working out.
well, it's beautiful.
I know, but look, when you leave something open-ended, most of the time, it never happens, because sometimes, I'm saying that's what happened here, and hopefully it wouldn't, because that means we would be short a great restaurant. They get comfortable with it, and then it stays and it never changes.
No, I fully,
And that's how-
I fully agree with you on that.
That's how over years and years, I think the village has been burned by that, just
Yeah, the goodwill.
the
I
handshake,
understand.
yeah, the handshake agreement.
Yeah.
I think it needs to be a pen to paper, and I think, you know, Dan would probably agree to that as well, because there's no guarantee in all the work we're putting in that downtown to just leave it as a prep kitchen and hope that it's a
No,
White Sheep.
that doesn't serve the village at all, or its
Yeah.
residents. I think, you know, if we had a date instead of,
Or what
you
if.
know, I think, unfortunately, I think the best case scenario would be to pull it for now, if you can give Mike time to review that.
Yeah, well, we just see what everyone else thinks, so kind of Mike has some general idea. Dennis, you have any comments on that?
Yeah, I agree with the comments that you were making earlier too, you know, more of a definitive timeline, right? You know, and I think that's something that would take a little time here to draft up and consider, right? But I would be on board with something to that, and, you know, it protects the village and the downtown area as well, right? So, I would be in favor of that.
Yeah, I mean, we need a path, right? Bill, do you want to add more, or no?
No, I think it's just leaving it open-ended is gonna be, you know, giving us too many, you know, what-ifs. You know, if there's any challenges that come with, you know, outside of the tuck pointing, outside of, you know, any roofing issues or whatever other issues you may encounter.
Most all the mechanicals, I
Yeah,
believe,
after
are
you
bad.
purchase.
All that will be addressed immediately, like mechanical issues. There's a report from the village of issues with the building. All those are going to get addressed as well immediately.
then
And that's
also-
fine. I just think that, you know, the way it stands right now, I'm not comfortable with it. So I'd be a no vote, but if you wanted to pull and, you know, pull your permit and then, you know, resubmit, I think that would probably be the best case scenario, because I think there's too many open ends, you know, too many what ifs on this to, you know, to approve it, and then, you know, we get stuck with a catering kitchen in prime downtown real estate. So, that's just my opinion.
Thanks, Bill. Ken, do you have any comments you want to make?
I have a couple of comments. I won't make the comments that duplicate what everyone else said. I'm just not, in looking through the whole package, I'm just not entirely clear about what the concept is. I know there was a lot of ideas about what it could do this, could do that. If I'm understanding what's before us, it's a liquor license request, which seems on the face of it pretty straightforward, but I don't really understand what the liquor license is going to be attached to. And it just seems a little vague to me.
So the liquor license is attached to Luby Brothers, which is a station right now, and that's the corporation that we're trying to purchase. And the reason why we're taking the route of trying to purchase their corporation is the revenue that's coming from the slot machines. So currently, if we reapply with the gaming board, it takes, I believe, 8 to 10 months to activate the machines again, where if you become a stockholder in the existing corporation, it's instant. So
So you're
And-
essentially just looking to acquire the existing operating business,
correct. So the station will operate.
continue it in place,
100%, yes.
and then everything else that's in here is, we might do this. And I apologize for characterizing it that way, but that's what it is.
As written.
Yeah, I did, through a lot of emails, offer any guarantees I could offer. But I think the village attorney would know that it's hard for a commitment that would be legally bound through a business owner in a village issue, so.
And they're also requesting grants too, with half the business being closed.
So,
Yeah, the facade grant and all that, I conceptually, I had told Dan that I like that and I would generally support it, but it has to be attached to something more concrete, in my mind. So,
When you say concrete, you mean a date?
a date, a definitive concept, and I think you've expressed pretty well the factors that are leading you to not be here with here's my plan, right? I get that. Just as it stands today, I think it would be best, because if we took a vote right now, I know that I would not be supportive of it. If we want to try to keep the option alive, then I think it would be good to see if something could be worked out that would be more definitive.
Dan, do you want to add anything to this or not?
No, the one thing I'll just point out to trustee Brennan's is, you were right with Pete's, we tied certain things together, that had a PUD and a special use. The struggle with this one we're having is like, there isn't a special use, there's not an ordinance being passed here, and it's really the liquor license side of things, where you're essentially being asked
Right.
to approve what's there now with some promises of the future, but without that ordinance really in front of you saying X, Y, and Z has to happen. So that's the struggle we've kind of had is, we did come up with those examples of kind of what they can do on the exterior of it. And then also, we have that grant process, so we kind of brought that up to them, just to let them know that's there. And if they come up with a good project, basically the board can help support good projects like that. But there is that, the disconnect is trying to tie all those things together. So I can certainly work with Mike and our attorneys and see if there's something that we can figure out how to, with all this feedback that we're getting from you guys, to tie it up. But,
Thanks, Dan.
I think there's some good options there on the building that they can do with just the front, open it up, beautify it. Like trustee Shaw said, he gave some good feedback too, and just kind of how to activate that space a little better.
If I could just add really quick too, just for the board, again, we wanted to have this discussion with you all, so it isn't on the board agenda tonight, so it's more so looking for direction as to how staff should kind of move from here. So I wanted to point that out. And then I have not, I admit, I haven't been very close to this. Another staff member has been working on this one a little bit more. But as far as I know, there's no request for gaming at this time. Again, keep in mind that, this would be a new gaming request as well. There is a 365 wait day period for video gaming. Just since that got brought up, I just want to make sure that I'm, painting the whole picture for the board, too. Again, I haven't been as close, so I don't know if that conversation has been had. But just putting that out there.
But it is, as an existing business, we could waive that, because he's
Correct.
buying the
It creates-
corporation.
Correct.
Okay.
We'd have to waive it, though, when you applied for an AV.
Correct.
Yeah.
Because it's an existing business. I mean, that's, That's how everyone does it. If you buy the, if you open under White Sheep, you wait a year, if you buy the corporation, then you have the option to apply and ask to waive it.
But before us today is not an AV, it's an A.
Today is just a liquor license,
Yeah.
correct? Colleen?
Yeah, as it is right now, it's just, there's so much uncertainty of what it's gonna be. Talking about the gaming, you mentioned a cafe. I don't want a gaming cafe downtown Tinley.
No, no,
Wasn't a
not
gaming cafe.
Not a
Well, you
gaming cafe.
mentioned it could be a cafe or roaster, correct?
Coffee roasting,
Coffee roasting, so type of cafe.
yes.
With-
Not a gaming cafe,
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
But, if this is something I would definitely, if you said, hey, I'm opening up a White Sheep, you come back to us, I would 100% be a yes for this. But with the uncertainty, I just don't want to hand out a liquor license for something that we don't know what's gonna go in the heart of downtown after there's been so much work put into Harmony Square. I just want to make sure that it's a good fit within our community. So I guess I want to ask, would you, is your decision of moving forward based on you getting a liquor license today or not?
Well,
Or a discussion, I shouldn't say, because we're discussing it. I know we're not passing anything now. But is it gonna depend on that? If you don't get that today, but, because you could see, like, we're all
I know,
on
and
board for
I
this
see the
White Sheep.
problem. Again, the problem is by purchasing a building, there's certain expense that comes with maintaining the building and operating the building. If we don't have a liquor license, we don't have ongoing revenue to maintain that building. So this whole deal is not gonna be sustainable.
But the first part of your business is catering, so that wouldn't have anything to do with liquor anyway, correct?
Correct,
Okay, and then the other part, so then you're doing, have a
The other
bar
part is the
side,
station.
The pub side?
yes.
Okay. All right, I just think it's just a little too uncertain of what's actually going to.
Again,
Good.
all of the scenarios that have been circulated are to manage expenses for the near future of 2 years. And if there is a way that we can commit on paper to open a White Sheep in the 2-year form, I mean, we're all for it.
Mike?
So the existing dining space will be dining space. The existing bar will be bar, and you'll be serving beer, pizzas.
100%.
wings, And you're looking for a liquor license to support that.
Correct.
There's an unused portion of the building that you want to do,
The banquet room.
The banquet room, want to get rid of it.
get rid of it and do,
Storage and catering.
yeah. Okay. I'm in the minority here. I would be a yes for this proposal, but that's fine.
Bill?
Well, we all know that there have been past businesses that have come through our village and promised, we're going to do this is gonna be here, and so on and so forth. I think the mayor alluded to that. So that bothers me, to give you a carte blanche to be able to do what you want and not necessarily do what you have to do, or that you're told, or told us what you're going to do. But I have a question. What type of catering are you talking about? What type of food are you planning, or?
Party, wedding,
No, I
Special
mean,
events.
what are you serving? What can they purchase from you?
online, most of it. We do have catering options as we speak. We do have a catering business as you speak. It's just going to get mitigated through that kitchen.
I'm talking about the menu. What can I order?
Oh, anything. It's 90% of the time it's customizable, from roast beef, lemon
standard-
chicken,
standard
pasta,
fare.
standard, yes. It's a
Okay.
standard catering food if you want.
And if
Can I
it's
just
on-
ask to clarify, because is it gonna be White Sheep catering?
It is White Sheep catering,
Okay,
yes.
because like, that's how it's written, so they do
Yeah.
plan on doing like the White Sheep catering line out of there to start, and then eventually, I think the hope is to open up a White Sheep, but they'd be serving the White Sheep food out of that.
Right, that's what I'm trying
catering
to find
location.
out, if it was.
And if it's catering, there's no way to track the port of sale that it goes to the Village of Tinley Park either, because it's online. Okay.
True.
One other, can I just make one other clarification? Just, it doesn't really go either way with you guys, but just, it's, I think, a missing piece, maybe for like what some of Colleen's comments were. I'll just say this is my professional opinion, and it might be Danny's too, but he's buying it. It's probably overpriced for the amount of work that has to be done on that property. It's been sitting out there for sale for, well over a year. So, and we've had this issue come up of people trying to buy it and unable to fill the space or come to a deal with the current sellers. Again, just my professional opinion, it's overpriced because I think it's been overappraised based on assuming somebody could walk in there and just start operating and it'd be great. I don't think it's been doing very well as a business, and so I think that's an unfair appraisal that happened there, an assumption. So I think part of what Danny's trying to do is navigate that too, that he's maybe paying for it a little more. So he's trying to move through that. I'll just throw that out there. I think that's one of the things that's kind of missing here. Of
That
he's
is what we're
to
trying to
navigate.
So cater to the potential of the property.
Just one more thing to add to it, and that's it for me, but I know 3 people that have tried to go through there and purchase it, and it all comes back to, all the mechanicals are bad.
I'll
And then
take
with
care of
the-
all that.
And then, I'm sorry.
I'll take care of all the mechanicals, roofs, that's not an issue.
Well, I know, but I'm saying, but their asking price, to go with what Dan's saying, the asking price does not match the amount of money you have to put it in just to get it ready to do anything. So that's the problem too, is the asking price is, it's way overpriced. It's priced for the future of Harmony Square, it's not priced for today.
So I got one more thing here, and I'm just gonna see if I can clarify this in my own mind based on what trustee Mueller said. We have an existing business that's there today, and I think part of my concern here is just like all the other elements here. At the most basic, you're looking to buy the building, buy the business, and operate what's there today. Maybe better, right? Operate it better, you know, what have you. But in a nutshell, the village is not, by that proposal, we're not necessarily losing anything. We're retaining what we have. And then there's potential that you want to do something more than that. Is that a fair restatement of what you're going to do?
Correct. We are a bullish business. Thankfully, we're doing good, and we do have the capital to invest.
Okay.
Can someone explain, like, we're talking about if there, with the attorney to have provisions put in, what would an example of that be? What we're trying, if I was to vote yes with the provision, what is it that we would be stipulating to him?
That's to me.
Yeah, would that be to
Get
you?
one of his kids or something.
Yeah, no, I mean, like,
Yeah, truthfully,
are
be
we
very-
saying like this is what, we'll give you a liquor license, but you have to do A, B, C? Like, what are we, you mentioned provisions, like, what is the example of that? What is?
It would be very hard to draft something,
Mm-hmm,
but an example, this is not legal advice, would be, it would issue on the condition that a certificate of occupancy would issue for a white sheet within, making this up, 1 year. And if it doesn't, the license gets surrendered. But then he could argue that he still needs due process because he's a license holder. Like, I haven't been able to think through the legal machinations of what would be involved in the agreement, and then pages of him waiving any rights he might have to a hearing, and I assume he might have contingencies, which then I would object to. And so I don't know that there's, typically, you don't bring something forward with conditions on a liquor license. I've seen it in redevelopment agreements because you're agreeing that if a future act happens, here the village is going first. The village jumps off the bridge first. In a redevelopment agreement, there's nothing we have to do until the other side performs. Here, if he doesn't perform, we have to then figure out how to take it back.
I'm glad we're able to clarify that we're, at a minimum, we're talking about maintaining an existing business.
With the facade improvements, the driveway and the parking lot improvements, which is something you did promise.
Correct. And that can happen immediately after purchasing the building, closing, which,
And those are requirements of that, like, that is enforceable from all of that.
Correct.
It's enforceable with the CO right from the start, so.
Yeah, I think when we get a proposal, this is a discussion, so we can kind of frame things, and I just wanted to come back to it because I appreciate that someone's coming here trying to do something, and I don't want to discourage anyone from it, but, you know, we hope you can appreciate we're trying to be really careful about a few things.
I understand,
As I'm seeing it, maintaining an existing business, hopefully improving it, and if we get improvements to the building, in particular, I know some of the stuff Dan said about just opening it up and making it visually more appealing, you know, windows.
correct.
Maybe an overhead door or something. While I would like something greater, and you have your white sheep concept come in or something,
And Arlene's.
at a minimum, I think that would still be an improvement. So
Correct.
that's a positive direction there.
Something I want to mention too is through the process of trying to buy Luby Brothers right now, I did have a peek in their financials and what's going on, and obviously we did sign an NDA, so I can't get into details. But as a business, they are suffering, to say the least. It's my assumption that they're not going to be there for long.
Anything else?
I just want to add that, you know, I don't want, you know, the comments that we're saying discourage you in any way, because of course, you know, I love seeing people succeed. I would love nothing more than something fabulous to go in there. It sounds like you have your hands in other things that are very successful, and that's great. So it's definitely just a discussion right now. And if I just had something more concrete that I knew, like, yes, this is what we're doing here, I'd be 100% on board with you. So that's, you know, I just don't want to come across like I'm discouraging you in any way, or, you know, I just want to just kind of like to know what's going to go there for sure. That's all.
I appreciate it.
But I'd be happy to revisit this.
Maybe he came up with an idea.
No ideas.
So,
Do I just work with the attorneys and Hannah and Dan over the next 2 weeks, right? It's 2 weeks? You guys can figure it out with something more concrete to get to the board. If you guys get a preliminary draft, Dan, just blank copy the whole board and send it to everyone, and then you can put it on the May 6th. With due diligence, does that work?
we'll make it work. We are at the final stages of, we got approved for a loan, we get to pick a closing date, and everything's pending what's going on here. May 6th is May 6th, it should work. I mean, we'll make it work.
So why don't you work with Dan and Hannah and Pat and see if you guys can get something more concrete to the board, and then, you know, you guys just get it to the board, and Pat can call everyone and see where everyone's at, and if there's enough support, then you're ready to roll.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Next, we have item number 8.
I think we have to take action on it, though.
No, it's discussed.
It was just,
We're
it was
just
a
discussing.
discussion, there's something on the board meeting.
We don't need to approve anything. Item 8, discuss the purchase of manhole lids from EJ USA. Are there any questions on item 8? Is there a motion?
I'd just like to ask a question. Are these are people stealing them, or is it just because they don't have our name on them, or, I read the packet, and I know there's different ones that say Tinley Park on it and so on and so forth.
There's
There's been a rash of manhole thefts.
That's what I thought, but I didn't know what was happening to ours, you know?
I just heard that.
Is there a motion?
So I'll make a motion to.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Call the roll.
Roll call for item 8, trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
Motion carries. Item 9, discuss an agreement with Christopher Burke for 2025 water main replacement bid package 1 and 2 construction engineering services. Are there any questions for number 9? Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Madam Clerk?
Roll call for item 9, trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you. Item 10, discuss an agreement with Robinson Engineering for 175th Street Construction Engineering Services. Are there any questions for number 10? Is there a motion for number 10?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
Second?
Madam Clerk?
Roll call for item 10, trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
Motion carries. Item 11, discuss an agreement with Christopher Burke for general design and construction engineering services. Are there any questions for 11? Is there a motion for item?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Madam Clerk?
Roll call for item 11, trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you. Item 12, discuss contract with Miller Pipeline LLC for 2025 concrete flat work curb program, year 1 of 3. Are there any questions? Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Madam Clerk?
Roll call for item 12, trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you. Item 13, discuss property located at 17366 to 17368 68 Court, the former Beckstein Construction Company. Are there any questions? Is there a motion?
So move.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Roll call for item 13, trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you. 14, discuss contract with LPS Pavement for North Street. Any questions? Is there a motion for 14?
I'll make that motion. I'll second.
Madam Clerk?
Roll call for item 14, trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
That motion carries. Thank you, everyone. Item 15, discuss waiving the competitive bidding process for 2025 payment correct fill program and awarding contract to SKC. Are there any questions? Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Thank you. Madam Clerk?
Roll call for item 15, trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
That motion carries. Thank you, everyone. Item 16, discuss AMRF. Are there any questions for 16? Is there a motion for 16?
I'll make that motion.
I'll
Is there a
second.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Madam Clerk?
Roll call for item 16, trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
No.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
Motion carries. Item 17, discuss Cook County Multi-Jurisdictional Hazard Mitigation Plan. Are there any questions for 17? Is there a motion for 17?
So moved? Second.
Call the roll.
Roll call for item 17, trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
Motion carries. 18, discuss contract with Motorola Solutions for the purchase and installation of 14 APX 8500 mobile radios. Are there any questions for 18? Is there a motion for 18?
So moved.
I'll
I'll
sec-
second.
Go ahead.
Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Roll call for item 18, trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
That motion carries. Thank you. Last item, item 19, receive comments from the public. Are any comments from the public for the committee of the whole? Let the record reflect there are none. Can we have a motion, please, to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Roll call for adjournment, trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
We are adjourned. We will be right back for the next one.